I just hit myself. Oh, I just finished dinner and I just smashed my full tummy against my desk. Oh, you're about to see a grand geyser come out of my mouth, and it's gonna be not nice. So I put together some wholesome questions for Keri. Just some good wholesome video game hobby Twitch streaming questions. I'm hosting this one as if it's a talk show. So welcome everybody. I'm just joking.
I'm trying to get my avatar in his stream because he has an editor now.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna shoot him a message after stream, either right after or tomorrow morning, and be like, hey, by the way, on my recent stream, I talked to my friend Keri. Could you do me a favor and do that? And he'll be like, okay. Because that's how he sounds. That's how Temper sounds. You hear me, Temper? That's how you sound. I'm just kidding. No, he's a good bean. What flavor ice cream do you prefer? Okay, I know it's contentious, but I'm going to stand by it. I'm a mint chalky chip boy. Not like the green mint chocolate chip. I like the white mint chocolate chip. There's like a lack of dye taste to it, and I really enjoy it. That being said, I also am a big fan of like a moose track, and sometimes a good old chalky vanilla swirl.
I love mint chocolate chip.
Oh yeah, big time. Look at that. Now she's nice and big. She's standing right next to it. Okay, that's better. Look at that. Hell yeah.
Yeah. Hello.
Right there, Neapolitan wins. At the end of the day, welcome to a nice, wholesome chat with my friend, KerikaAria. Or you can just call her Keri. Now, I got a nice handful of cute old friendly questions for her, just to get to know her a little bit better. Oh my god, she's being attacked by emotes. Oh my god.
That's one of my favorite things about this, that you can just drop emotes on my head.
During this interview, I greatly encourage dropping emotes on Keri's head. I love that very much.
It's great.
Oh my god. Oh, and they moved too. It's got the VO spin emote. So the first question is one that, you know, any Twitch streamer has been asked probably numerous. Don't use that one. Don't use that one. Guys, what made you start streaming? Like, what got you motivated to do it?
Honestly, I think there's like a little bit of this in a lot of people where it's just like you're kind of doing something. It's like you like narrate or like you kind of like imagine an audience. I think a lot of people do that kind of thing. Sometimes it's just like, oh, like, you know, especially when you have like something really interesting happen when you like gaming or something, you kind of wish, oh, I wish somebody was here to see them. And I had a friend or two. One is definitely not a friend anymore. But at the time I had like a friend or two who was like, why don't you give streaming a try? And I'm like, sure, yeah, maybe. And then I did it like a little bit, like just like once in a while. And then one time I decided, I'm just gonna do this every week.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's a great story as any. I mean, I have a similar one where I felt guilty playing video games, so I wanted to try to turn it into something productive. That was like one of my motivations, which is a little silly, but
hey, it's also nice to just like have the community. Like I've met some really nice people like you, and it's nice.
Yeah.
I like that, like, you know, I have a Discord, and it makes me happy when I see that people are actively talking in Discord and finding friends.
Yeah. No, absolutely. One of my best buddies.
A little community.
Yeah, one of my best buddies in real life, thanks to Twitch and streaming, has like a big gaming community that he plays with like after work now. He plays like Tarkov, which is awful, but but you know, I'm just kidding. Tarkov's fine. I have no shame. Okay, well, here's the next question: is what does real life Keri occupy her time with when she's not Fox Girl Keri VTuber extraordinaire?
Work, writing, and then just pretty much just gaming and crafting, which I do on stream too. Like, honestly, my life is kind of boring. I just work, but also like my work hours can be weird. Like I said in my Discord earlier, like I was thinking I'm not gonna stream anymore Echoes of Wisdom, but I was like, okay, you know what? If I am gonna continue streaming Echoes of Wisdom, I'm gonna need to stream more than 2 times a week. Because I do want to play spooky games for October.
Oh,
and
I'm down, by the way.
2 days a week. So I was gonna continue like Layers of Fear as well. I started a couple months ago, and then it crashed.
Oh.
A whole circuit in my house.
Oh my god.
I was like, yeah, I'm not doing that again. And then they came in and switched out the circuit, so it shouldn't happen again. And I got more RAM, so hopefully. But anyway, yeah, so I wanted to continue that and stuff too. But so I'm like, so if I'm going to continue Echoes of Wisdom this month, then I'm going to have to stream extra.
Tiny in chat grabbed onto it as well. But like, what kind of stuff do you like writing? If you don't want to talk about it, it's okay.
When I started writing when I was a teenager, and of course the first stuff that I was writing was like really rudimentary, well, very like plagiaristic stuff, right? That's
fine.
You know, developing my writing skills.
Gotta practice, yeah, it's practice.
And I kept up the hobby, and I actually developed some like really, I think I still have them somewhere. I have like a whole like 5-book series outlined on my computer that I just haven't touched in a long time.
I get that.
So I have some original stuff, and that is very like fantasy oriented. But lately, the last no longer than that, because I actually took like a 2-year break, more like 5-6 years. At what I've been writing is actually fanfic.
Hell yeah, let's go.
I don't write the smut stuff. I don't write the smut.
You know, if you did, we wouldn't judge it. But what's the fanfic exactly? Like what IPs you picking? What's going on here?
It's all been for BTS.
Ah.
Which, if you don't know BTS, they're one of the most well-known K-pop groups. I've been a fan of them since 2014. Before they got popular, thank you very much.
She's a hipster with BTS.
So most of the stuff is that, but one of the interesting... No, there's nothing wrong. I read smut. I'm perfectly fine with smut. I just don't write it.
Thank you for clarifying.
And I write mostly for BTS, but one of the fun things about that is because it's just basically, when it comes to writing fanfic for people who are like real life people, it kind of like opens, or like it really makes it easy to adapt it to pretty much any kind of universe you want. Like I've read fanfics that is like BTS but in Hogwarts, or in Alice in Wonderland, or like, you know, it's very easy to adapt because they're just like people. They're not like characters in a universe where the universe identifies their characters, if that makes sense. So
I know
it's very flexible.
Right, that does sound like cool. It sounds like at the very least it's a really great writing exercise, and at the very most it could be turned into like something super fun for the whole like, you know, fan base, which is great. No, that sounds really cool. I'm like, Tiny's a writer, I'm a writer. We got a lot of writers in chat, you know.
Nice.
Yeah.
If you are interested in looking up my stuff, I am on Tumblr and AO3 under the same name, KerikaAria.
All right. What's the craziest thing that's happened to you on Twitch so far, or have you had a relatively like calm and gentle time on Twitch?
The only thing I would say is crazy is a good crazy.
Oh, that's good though. Yeah. Crazy's great.
Back when I did like the anniversary streams, which was in, what did I do that, July? A mutual a friend, Vintage, was there, and he had gifted like 25 subs.
Oh, hell yeah.
Really awesome. And it was cool because, you know, it opened up some more emote slots for me and stuff. And it's like, obviously most of the people didn't keep their subs, but like he himself funded a Twitch payout for me from that month. Like,
oh, that's really
so
sweet.
it was a really nice thing. Super friendly. So Vintage, you'll see a bunch of people in my stuff. So Vintage, Surge, you'll see Nico's busy recently, but you'll see her around, and some other people that pop in my chats or that'll raid into me. We're all know each other because we watch Smelly Octopus, who's another Twitch streamer. He started on YouTube, but then he came over to Twitch when YouTube was muting his stream for his own voice when somebody claimed it was theirs. It was weird. So he was like, "You then, I'll do Twitch."
Sure.
But yeah, anyway, we all met there. So we all just kind of like help each other, raid into each other, show each other support. So it was really, really nice of Vintage to do that for me that day. But Surge said vibrator story.
Yeah, Tiny was like concerned for a second. Tiny's like, what does that mean? Like...
So, yeah, no, it is actually wholesome. It's only Surge that's the dirty one. So
Fair.
It was not too long after I started streaming. It was within the first few months, and Surge was there, you know, just supporting, watching.
Sure.
And my phone was sitting on my desk, and it was on vibrate, and with like, you know, I hadn't figured out like noise gate and stuff like that very well yet.
Right.
So it vibrated because I got a text message, and you heard it. And of course, Serge's mind was in the gutter, and he was like, "Keri, what was that?" I'm like, "It's my phone." He's like, "Oh, I thought it was something else." I'm like, "What? What? I think that I would just randomly have one of those sitting on my desk, and it would just turn on."
All right, I got one more fun one for you, and then we can.
Okay.
Then I'll shut up and stop asking questions. This one's a little bit on the deep side, but because it's a good conversation, but it also can be fun too. But like, how was high school for you?
It was fine.
All right,
For
everybody
me,
knows.
I think I'm very neutral on high school. I had some, personal things going on. Like my parents separated when I was 13, so the first half of high school was still dealing with a lot of that stuff.
That's rough.
And some things afterwards. But my experience like in high school itself, it was a little bit of a mixed bag, but it's still mostly neutral. I was a band geek. I was in the marching band, played piccolo.
Hell yeah.
Because I was a flute player, but my band director was like, "Nope, marching band, piccolo. Marching band's for piccolos."
Okay.
So piccolo and marching band, and then concert band was flute. So there's some other instruments that I was playing as well, like bagpipes.
Hell yeah.
And I had kind of taught myself how to basically play the piano when I was little. But I took a piano class in high school to learn the proper technique to be able to play. In 9th grade, they realized that, I was a little bit of a step up. I was in the pre-scholars classes, and they had me do an IQ test, and they're like, "Oh, you can be in the scholars classes." So from 10th to 12th grade, I was in the scholars classes. So all my main core classes were with the same students, which was helpful for me. I think it gave me more routine. But I would get picked on a good bit in middle school, and I kind of knew that it's like they were just looking for a reaction. They were just looking for somebody to bother. So if I didn't offer any reaction, they just left me alone. So I kind of always adapted that mentality through high school. So luckily I avoided that stuff. There's a lot of things I was naive on that I learned better when I was a bit older. One thing was that there was a group that I had considered friends that I was around a lot. And after a year or two out of high school, I had this realization that they didn't see me as a friend, but they let me hang around because they knew I didn't really have friends to be around. So they just let me hang around them since I didn't have anybody else. And it was a bittersweet thing to realize, because even if they didn't consider me a friend, it was from a good place in a way. There's a lot of that with high school. Some things good, some things bad.
Yeah.
If it wasn't for a band, I would not have gotten through high school nearly as well. Because, to do extracurricular activities, you have to attend school that day, or if it's on the weekend, you have to attend school that Friday. There's a lot of days that I really wanted to just skip going to school, but I didn't, because if I did, then I wouldn't be attending band stuff.
I actually have I have a similar story too.
Mixed bag, but overall it was fine.
Yeah, I have a similar story with the friend thing. Throughout middle school and high school and a bit of college, I was best friends with this guy. It was right after after my 3rd year in college, when I dropped out to move to LA, I found out that he just stopped talking to me, and I found out that he only ever thought of me as a friend of convenience, because I just wanted to hang out with him. So he hung out with me, and that was it. And I remember when I heard that, I was just devastated, because I was like, dude, I spent years with you. Your mother loved me. Your mother said it's God's mistake that you two aren't brothers. And I was like, that's the most meaningful thing. I don't even believe in God, but that's great. That's a beautiful thing to say to somebody,
So sweet.
And then he's like, he didn't really care. And that was devastating, especially all the things we helped each other with throughout those years and whatever. It was just it was devastating when he kind of when that revelation came about. So, but.
Oh, that always sucks when you realize that somebody mattered more to you than you did to them. That always really sucks.
Especially when it's
that's
really dramatic. The difference is huge. If sometimes there's always a little bit of that maybe with people, but when there's when it's when the divide is so on opposite ends, you're like, oh, that sucks.
Yeah.
So, I did a lot of soul searching too, and I was like, hey, what was I doing wrong? What could have I done to be a better friend? So that did help me grow, which I think is the good takeaway. But that's my goal.
I feel in general, high school is kind of just that thing. Is it's a very much self-discovery. Everybody's figuring out who they are, right? And
Absolutely.
sometimes you have friendships are like in the moment, like really amazing, like really great friendships, and then sometimes they fall out.
Yeah.
And sometimes you find people who are with you for a long time. And like
Yeah.
I was pretty naive for most of my teen years. I have low self-esteem because like basically I didn't have many people who wanted to stick around me, and pretty much all of them that didn't, it was because they thought I was annoying, they thought that I was too much of this, too much of that, whatever. And it was pretty damaging to my self-esteem, so I've always become a little bit self-conscious about how I present myself. But then if I get comfortable, then I just kind of like I word vomit and stuff, but
that's what stream's good for.
It's just a matter of finding the people that you vibe with. Like, to some people I'm annoying, to some people they like how much I talk, and I always get self-conscious when I realize I talk for a lot, because I'm like, oh wait, hold on, I'm talking too much, I'm annoying. And then people are like, no, you're not, you're fine.
No, I think like that really does, that kind of leads to Twitch in a way, because like it allows you to just word vomit all over the place.
Yeah.
And then people who like what you have to say will stick around, like
yeah. That's kind of what it's for. It's like I'm here to present myself to you and entertain you, and if you think I'm entertaining, then you can stick around.
Hell yeah,
Talking
Tiny.
too much just means you're with close friends.
Yeah. That's wholesome as fuck.
or with people that you're just comfortable with too. Sometimes like I might have just met a person, but like if they feel comfortable, like I'll just talk.
Yeah. It's nice.
And then I'll realize I'm like, oh my god, I'm so sorry. Okay.
No, it's a beautiful thing. Yeah, I don't know. Keri, thank you very much for indulging me in these wholesome and silly questions. Yeah. And obviously we finished We Were Here Forever, which is fantastic. We do have that little one-off to do. We Were Here Friendship. Is that what it's called? We Were Here Friendship? Yeah.
But we can always do that whenever, especially because it's it's just a little quick one.
Sure.
So we can do that like maybe like in a month or two or something. Like get through the spooky October stuff first.
Yeah, I was gonna say, if you let me know, edit me, Jesus Christ, message me. My brain's pudding. Message me like next few days if you want to talk about like doing some scary streams, and maybe I can try to get like some other of my streamer friends, or you can try to grab another one of your streamer friends to play like Phasmo or something like that. So